That they wouldn't be on the door.
Tori Austin and the delivery drivers have been singing that song since last year.
Well, hold on.
And I'm saying to you,
all due respect, they said it to me, and I'm following up with it.
But it wasn't enough for members who continued in protest up until the driver of one of two taxi cabs that obstructed traffic was carried away by a wrecker. Despite assurances, drivers say they've heard the same tale one too many times, alleging that the only concern for authorities may be what's in it for them.
They enact laws in Parliament, and then they're the same people who come and break the laws, okay? And then when me, as a little pian person, break the law, they want to prosecute me.
But there's a more potent question for some. Why could the taxi cab union and delivery drivers not resolve the issue themselves?
well, first of all, the delivery drivers are bastards. They're not legitimate. Hackers. They're hackers.
We started having meetings before, and then that dissolved because they had a stand that we didn't agree with. We protect our home. And anybody that is a delivery driver that is not adhering to our standards and policies, they report it.
Feel sidelined at all by this protest today?
At the end of the day, it's all about just making sure it gets resolved.
We're going to give the minister the benefit of the doubt to address these issues. And then if it doesn't happen, I guess we'll be back here again next week.
Well, Eyewitness News turned to social media posing the question, do you think the government should introduce fair regulations for taxis and delivery drivers? 56% of participants voted yes, create a level playing field for everyone. 4% voted yes, but protect the taxi industry's interests. 38% voted no, let the market decide. 2% voted not sure. Be sure to vote on our polls posted daily on our Facebook page. Well, frustration spilling into public view as scores of registered nurses staged a labor demonstration demanding action on employment matters they say have been left unresolved for years. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details.
Appoint, confirm, and pay us. Appoint, confirm, and pay us. Appoint, confirm, and pay us.
We want to sign our letters today. We want our money.
I am frustrated. I am a single mother. I have 2 children.
Clutching placards, calling for full salaries, letters of appointment, confirmation, and reclassification, the nurses say they feel overlooked and undervalued, with some claiming their outstanding matters date as far back as 2022. Many nurses claim they've been forced to accept half-pay salary structures for years, further crippling their financial positions and hindering them from frontline advancements, obtaining mortgages and college tuition payments for their kids.
To the bank and even get a loan. We don't have any insurance. We don't have any pension. The people on the back of the line in the grocery store have to help me pay for my grocery.
I cannot go to the bank to get a home. I am on a limited salary since I entered the public service some 14 years ago.
But here's what registered nurse Pearlcina Delaveau Miller says was the boiling point.
The Department of Public Service decided 4 days ago that they were going to appoint and confirm 5 of the nurses that were on the list that was sent to them. That's a list of almost about 20 plus of us. And they decided they were only going to appoint and confirm 5 of them. Who made that decision?
While healthcare leaders continue to raise concerns about a nursing shortage, some registered nurses say the solution begins with treating those already on the front lines with the respect and dignity they deserve.
Under $1,600 for a registered nurse with a bachelor's degree. We have spent years in college. We have made the necessary sacrifices. After coming out of school, we also had to study very hard to pass a nursing council exam. After doing that, to come into the field where we are disrespected and unappreciated.
Addressing concerns relating to miscommunication between Ministry of Health and Wellness officials and the Human Resources Department, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville says the matter will be resolved in a timely manner.
Working diligently to resolve and to speak directly with public service to expedite the situation. But once again, I feel the pain of those nurses.
Prime Minister Philip Davis also acknowledging the matter, noting he has urged the relevant officials to take action as, quote, where there are administrative barriers, they must be resolved without delay. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Still talking health news, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the Ministry of Health is continuing an extensive public health investigation and contact assessment in North Eleuthera following possible tuberculosis exposures. Darville says officials are working closely with healthcare providers, public health teams, and other stakeholders to complete the process as quickly and thoroughly as possible, while emphasizing that tuberculosis is well understood and treatable disease. The minister is also urging residents to disregard rumors and rely only on information released by the ministry, stressing that the situation remains under control.
Tuberculosis is a well understood treatable disease. The Bahamas has established national tuberculosis programs, and we have clinics throughout the Family Islands, and our public health nurses are fully trained to address conditions associated with tuberculosis. Our public health teams have successfully managed tuberculosis cases for many years, and we are confident in our ability to manage this investigation appropriately.
Meantime, there continues to be heightened calls for emergency response resources on the Family Islands in light of another fire that ravaged 6 homes in Bimini, leaving nearly 24 families homeless. Chief Counselor for the island, Triska Roll, says while yesterday's incident sparked a remarkable community effort, she maintains that the island needs to be equipped with necessary tools to get a better handle on such issues.
I received the news of the fire. I called Resort World. I know they had a fire truck. After I spoke to the police and island administrator, I called Resort World for assistance with their fire truck. They came right away. I called. They sent their 2 fire trucks down, and then I started to make contact with airport so we could get the fire truck from over South Bimini. But right now, just as you say, I think it's so important that Bimini have its own. I believe fire pumps would be better. Fire trucks, I'm understanding that they use fresh water. Bimini is very small, and there's 2 roads that protect us from the sea on both ends, which is the east and the west. And so the pumps would be easier because you could easily connect the pumps to the salt water that is very close to the houses.
This week, you've counted down with us to Independence Day with stories reflecting the creativity, talent, and culture of the Bahamian people, from food to photography to clothing, brought to you by Fancy's Boutique and the like. And tonight, it's the final countdown as Bahamians flock to Clifford Park for the annual Independence Ecumenical Service and Tattoo to ring in the 53rd year. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. is standing by on the grounds, and he is joining us live from Clifford Park with the latest. Linton?
Well, that's right, Janelle, joining you live here from Clifford Park for the 53rd annual Ecumenical and Cultural Show here for the Bahamas Independence. Now, directly behind me, there will be no action up here, but if you take a look down on that huge stage, that is where the Ecumenical and Cultural Show is expected to take place. Of course, we heard earlier this week from officials who said that the show will be one that Bahamians do not want to miss, as they made it clear that the Bahamian culture will be on full display. Now, of course, we know that it's still early at this point. That Ecumenical and Cultural Show has not begun yet, which explains why the stands are still filling up. But I can see with this time that proud Bahamians are out there. They're sitting down with their umbrellas to beat the sun. It's very hot at this point, but they are dressed down in their aquamarine, their gold, and their black, as they make it clear that it's the 53rd Independence and they are proud to be Bahamian. But of course, tonight, there'll be lots of things out here to do on Clifford Park. For persons who are looking for great Bahamian dishes, there'll be everything on top of the park, ranging from conch salad to conch fritters to crab and dough to stuffed crab. Listen, all your Bahamian favorites. I even smell some earlier walking past to make my way down here. But I'm telling you that everything on here will be fully Bahamian on display tonight, expressing our culture. Now, of course, as I mentioned, for that ecumenical service, we are expected to hear from a number of religious leaders leading from the Christian Council and also as well the Anglican Diocese. We know that they will pray over the nation. We heard that they'll also be praying for the youth. They'll be praying for the elderly. And then, of course, following that will be the cultural service, where we are expected to hear a number of melodious voices. We're expected to hear from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. We're expected to see some canine shows from dogs. Listen, it's one
as I said, that you will not want to miss. But of course, at this moment, as I mentioned, a number of government ministers, they are still arriving as the show is expected to be underway any minute now. But of course, we will be standing by and we will bring you all the details from this exciting Bahamian ecumenical service here tonight for the 53rd Independence in a recap broadcast. I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk, Chanel.
All right, thank you. That was our Linton Ritchie Jr. joining us live from Clifford Park. And once again, a very special happy early Independence Day to all of you out there. Well, we've added another access point to make sure that you're up to date with the news. So don't forget to follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting our social media pages for a direct link. And while you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. And if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline at 397-6397. We're also inviting you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. And we are just getting started, but when we come back, a woman who recorded herself committing sex crimes against a toddler is jailed. But for how long? And later, the country's energy minister is standing by the electricity restoration timeline that she's set. We've got more on those stories right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Captain Cash & Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash & Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash & Go, man.
It's Captain Cash & Go.
At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
I've been banking with Bank of the Bahamas for about 10 years and recently have applied for a commercial loan with Bank of the Bahamas. We like the fact that it's a Bahamian company. They give you personalized service, they return your phone calls. It's just a pleasure to do business with them. They helped our company facilitate the loans we needed to grow our business. I can recommend Bank of the Bahamas to other businesses simply because the service is outstanding.
Long summer, hot sun, people coming over, and nobody feeling like cooking. This summer, wait for the sign. Presenting KFC Summer Bucket, the official meal of the summer.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
In the Bahamas, we're connected by more than just our islands. Now we're connected by SandDollar. It moves with you across many digital wallets. It doesn't matter if you use Bank of the Bahamas, Cash & Go, Canoe, Mobile Assist, MoneyMax, SunCash, or Omni. SandDollar, one currency and many wallets. It's inclusive, convenient, secure, and uniquely Bahamian. Embrace the future. Available for everyone on all Bahamian digital wallet apps.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
You're looking at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Esso gas station at $6.70 per gallon, the lowest right now. Rubus gas station, the highest right now at $6.87 per gallon. And a Shell gas station in the middle with $6.75. This is Eyewitness News and welcome back. Well, a woman who recorded herself performing a sex act on a 4-year-old boy in Abaco has been jailed for 5 years. What triggered 21-year-old Jessica Bobo's arrest was a viral video which she reportedly recorded herself as she carried out the vile crime against the toddler in January 2025. Bobo pleaded guilty to charges of unlawful sexual intercourse and production of child pornography when she appeared before Justice Petra Hannah Adderley in Grand Bahama. In accordance with the plea agreement, she was sentenced to 5 years on the sex charge and 4 years for producing child pornography. The sentences will be served at the same time. Well, a former prison officer is no longer facing a murder charge. Prosecutors on Monday formally ended the case against Desmond Gilbert with the presentation of nolle prosequi when he appeared before Justice Galimia Archer Minnis for the start of his trial. Gilbert was charged with the fatal shooting of Valentino McKenzie on October 21st, 2023. McKenzie was ambushed and shot to death while outside a home on 1st Street, Coconut Grove. Gilbert is serving a 2-year sentence for gun possession. While the Energy Minister, JoBeth Covey-Davis, on the defense tonight, days after the apparent island-wide blackout, which frustrated thousands of consumers. One of the biggest sources of frustration was the prolonged delay in restoring electricity. Some residents were reportedly plunged into darkness for up to 24 hours. While acknowledging their frustrations, the minister says crews first had to complete mandatory safety and system integrity checks.
The damage occurred at the critical interface between those two systems, the point where generation and the transmission network must operate together before electricity can flow safely to homes and businesses across New Providence. I often describe this as a handshake. Our generating stations produce the electricity. Our transmission network delivers that electricity to the communities we serve. Before power can flow, those two systems must synchronize perfectly. The lightning strike interrupted that synchronization. Before engineers could reconnect the system, they first had to inspect damaged equipment, verify it was safe to energize, and carefully restore the connection without creating additional damage or placing employees or the public at risk.
The Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation Chairman Don Williams is responding to concerns over power outages. He says the recent frequency of outages is again highlighting the need for long-term sustainable energy solutions, warning that businesses cannot continue operating under persistent electricity disruptions.
That we need throughout our country, not just for the lives, but it is what kind of drives a business. So whether you are a storefront, whether you are e-commerce, power is essential. So we are diligently working with the government, and we have an upcoming meeting with the minister as well to see if we can get key updates as to how we can mitigate some of the risk in respect to power. Now, we know that natural disasters is something that you can't predict, but how do we now ensure that businesses have reliable power, and then what additional resources, so whether it is some of the renewable energies, in terms of solar, how can we now assist those businesses in having additional resources to mitigate against further losses.
Well, after a tragic fire ravaged Davis gas station in Kemp Road some weeks ago, Freetown Member of Parliament Lincoln Deal led the demolition of the building's remains Wednesday night. The gas station had become a staple in the community after standing for some 62 years.
Our office as Member of Parliament would have made a commitment to this community and to the owners of this gas station to assist them in the demolition process. Today we are although this is the removal of a property that has been a landmark in this area, it's also renewal, a new beginning. The Kemp Road community has always been a resilient community, and we're grateful to have partnered with Evergreen Mortuary to make this a reality. We ensured that all of the derelict vehicles were removed from the site. As you can see behind me, there are cranes that are operating that would have assisted with moving the building. We began this process last evening, and it continues today. And so we are extremely grateful to see this point happen, and looking forward to what the future of this site becomes.
Deal says he's maintained communication with the gas station's owners, and though things may seem bleak right now as the entire community reels from the fire, plans for future reconstruction are still on the table.
We've been in constant communication with the family. There are a few things that they're looking at, and so we stand with them, and we look forward to supporting them as best as we can. At the end of the day, again, this community is very resilient. We rebuild and we move forward stronger and better than before. Again, this has been a landmark in the heart of Kemp Road, the only gas station in this geofence, and so it was very devastating, but the future looks bright.
Well, still to come in Eyewitness News, don't forget the foundation. That's the message from the country's top religious figure. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Gladys Hannah Martin, along with Director General Latia Duncombe and Parliamentary Secretary, the Honorable Randy Roll, addressed the importance of the Ministry of Tourism's summer internship program to the future of Bahamian tourism.
Bahamas is already a very distinct destination or nation in terms of tourism, but it's very important that we ensure we are on the cutting edge. This group, this cohort of young people will be exposed, they will get the exposure. Secondly, they will get levels of training through an internship. And thirdly, we hope that out of it, there will be some incentivization to join the profession, the industry, in whatever aspect they deem fit. So this is really softening the ground for young people, allowing them to get an insight into the industry.
So our interns will have numerous opportunities, getting exposed to every single thing that we do. Behind the scenes, what does a festival look like? From inception to execution. How do we factor in when we look at accounting for the different activities that we have in the ministry? Getting access to our vertical markets, our marketing department, our advertising, our accounting units. My area, from a director general perspective, a leadership perspective. So we are going to expose them to every single component of the ministry, a bird's eye view. It's key to spark their interest so that they see and understand what we do and why they are so important to the future and the success of the industry.
Well, it is super important to invest in the young people because they are the future of the country, and tourism is our business and tourism is the future of our economy. There will be a lot of opportunities. As a matter of fact, I mentioned how I started off here as a summer intern with the Ministry of Tourism, and today I'm Parliamentary Secretary. And so the future is bright, and certainly the sky is the limit.
Visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
When the craving hits, there's only one thing everybody agrees on. Hot, crispy, Wendy's chicken tenders. Made to satisfy every bite. Whether it's served as a slider or wrap, it's always perfectly seasoned, perfectly crunchy, and always cooked fresh. From lunch with friends to family moments worth sharing. For chicken tenders you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
As the nation prepares to mark its 53rd anniversary of independence under the theme Celebrating Our Heritage and Shaping Our Tomorrow, Bahamas Christian Council President Mario Moxie says it is especially important for Bahamians to reflect on the values and principles upon which the country was built. Moxie notes that while the nation looks ahead to the future, we must also remember its foundation.
Our nation is considered a Christian nation,
And so we must place God right at the center of everything that we do as a foundation. And over the years, we can see where we've drifted away from God. I think every time we celebrate an independence, it's time for us to reflect on our history, to think of the goodness of God and to have gratitude about where God has brought us to. But it's also time to think about our future. What Bahamas that we would like to have. We can tell where we're going right now based on the trends that we see. But we have an opportunity to kind of hit the reset button and determine our destiny based on what we would like to see, based on what the Lord is speaking in our own hearts. And I think all of us would want to see a Bahamas where values are reestablished.
Well, tonight, Verizon Media Group is proud to help save lives through its blood drive. The initiative drew members of staff and corporate Bahamas, all with one goal: to make a difference. Company CEO Gershon Major says he believes through the partnership, the initiative will grow in the years to come.
First of all, let me begin by thanking the Public Hospitals Authority for their willingness and professionalism to be a partner with us on this most important initiative. Secondly, I would be remiss if I don't thank the catalyst of this idea, which was a Dr. Tashatha Etienne, Senior House Officer at the Princess Margaret Hospital. And I spoke with her and subsequent physicians on the need for corporate Bahamas to begin spearheading this type of undertaking. So this was critically important given the demand that is constantly being asked by the blood bank, and I think this will become an annual event for us.
Major says the initiative is part of a broader commitment to serve the community.
We have a very heightened awareness of our corporate and social responsibility as a partner in the community as well as a servant in the media space. Verizon Media Group has been known, as well as the extended group of companies, for its corporate and social responsibility conscious awareness, and we want to continue that trend going into the rest of the year and onward. One of the most important aspects of this type of initiative is it saves lives. It touches a human, and that human could be our family member, our neighbor, a member of the church, a member of the community, or someone we don't even know. But it's a life that we can save, and doing that is so, so important.
A very special thank you to all of you that supported our blood drive earlier today. Well, still to come in Eyewitness News, our Laurencia Smith is up after this break with the latest in sports.
No shopping cart has more savings than a shopping cart at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounces, $2.39. Mahatma long grain or parboiled rice, 5 pounds, $4.89. Whole chicken wings, $1.79 per pound. Sweet blueberries, 1 pint, $4.99. Fresh romaine hearts, 3-pack, $5.99. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Smart shoppers shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Welcome back to another episode of The Movement, your energy and transport briefing. Today, I'm stepping into the shoes of a crossing guard. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, stop the car. Put the window down. Listen, there's 2 stop signs through this corner. One at the end of the corner, and this. You gotta respect both. You hear me, sir? Let's go. Keep rolling. Don't let it happen again. Every day, crossing guards are up and on duty way before you even get up to start your day. And today, I'm going to spend the day with them, rested and double vested, to see what it takes to keep our kids and our streets safe. Let it go.
I've been doing this now for about 6 months, and what made me want to become a crossing patrol officer is the love for the children, to protect the children, the safety of the children. I've noticed that everybody is always in a heat and rush, and they don't have the full understanding of what is the importance of us doing this job. The importance of us doing this job is for the safety of our children.
Good. That's your $5. You need that?
I have kids of my own, and they're very grown, so to come back out here and help these children along the way and be a mentor, to be somebody that inspires the children, is very, very rewarding for me.
As a crossing patrol officer, one of the most important things that you need to know, and that is paramount, is that our kids come first. And the ultimate goal, once again, is the safety of our kids in crossing our streets. Early in the morning, you have high traffic.
We gotta go. Let's go. We gotta go. gotta go.
The most difficult part is being able to create a gap within the traffic so that we can safely navigate our kids across the streets.
Driver, please stop your car. You're trying to see the kids cross from there and far. Driver, when you see this, then stop. Because if you don't stop, then your car could drop in a pothole. And like you say, see, I tell you slow down because the children got to get in the schoolyard.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Lauren C. Smith. Thanks for joining us. The Bahamas senior women's national basketball team has wrapped up its final training session before the last round of roster cuts over at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium on Wednesday night. Now, all eyes are on one goal, qualifying for the 2027 FIBA Women America Cup in El Salvador. To get there, Team Bahamas must first make its way through the 2026 FIBA America Cup qualifiers from July 12th through the 18 over in Nicaragua. Under the leadership of Grand Bahama native and Ole Miss women's basketball head coach, Coach Yo, the team has spent training camp pushing through twice daily sessions over at the gym and fine-tuning its game ahead of the tournament. The Bahamas earned their place in the qualifiers after capturing the bronze medal at last year's FIBA Women's America Cup basketball championships.
Yeah, I mean, for me, is important because there's a lot of sacrifice being made, not only from the coaches, but also some of the players. So, you know, you want to be able to have, something to show for it. You don't want it to be in vain. Also, we have some players that we were able to get approved, but they're still in the 45-day period. So they're not able to play in this window. So it would be great for us to advance, and we will continue to pick up talent. We still have a lot of talent out there.
The Bahamas earned their place at the qualifiers after capturing a bronze medal last year, the Women's Caribbean Basketball Championship in Guyana, finishing with a 2-2 win-loss record. The Bahamas will compete in Group A alongside Dominican Republic, host nation Nicaragua, and Mexico. Group B features Puerto Rico, El Salvador, Guyana, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Coach Yo says advancing out of the tournament is the team's main objective. She also took time to thank Bahamian WNBA star Jonquel J.J. Jones for her generous donation to the national program as the team continued to push towards the America Cup.
We do, and we have to we want to bring Jonquel back. You know, Destiny Walker, we want to bring her. We have a good crew. We just need to get us all on the same page. And a lot of that depends on the financial support that we have to be able to do what we need to do. If we don't have the financial backing, we are limited.
Well, that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Lauren C. Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to cash J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that?
Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to stand in line again.
Amen to that.
Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Coming up in Beyond the Headlines, our Shanique Miller discusses issues of the day with special guests. That's coming up in Beyond the Headlines. That starts right after this. And that does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company this week. A very special happy Independence Day to all of you on behalf of our entire news team. I'm Janelle Longley saying goodnight.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites. We offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Straight ahead tonight, what kind of sentencing can the 19-year-old driver of that fatal crash last Sunday expect? We talk about it. Meanwhile, the Bahamas Christian Council is asking for grace for the 19-year-old. I'll get the panelists to respond on that. And a look at that call for an investigation into BPL and claims of bribery. That's right. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, roll the doggone TP. With 5 counts of vehicular manslaughter now before the courts, attention is shifting from the investigation to potential consequences. As officials say, while every case is decided on its own facts, defendants convicted in similar multiple fatality crashes have historically received prison sentences. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight. They have it, then they'll let me know. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Peggy Candace and Ellington Ferguson. I'm expecting Glenroy Pratt as well, but I want to say good evening to each of you. Happy Independence. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me once again. It's a pleasure to be here to lend my voice to the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. You all, of course, you know, a lot has been said. People with varying opinions on the kind of sentencing that 19-year-old would perhaps be given by the court. As you know, 5 people unfortunately lost their lives in that fatal crash Sunday before last, something that shook the nation. The way it happened, the way we saw it play out. Of course, we eventually saw a video of the impact and how severe it was, and obviously with the lives lost. Your thoughts? Last night we heard, as he appeared in court, that there is a 10-year maximum sentence for vehicular manslaughter. Now there are 5 counts. People are wondering, would that be 10 individual years meted out possibly? Exactly, to serve concurrently. And, you know, is he deserving of what many would see as perhaps a harsh sentence?
Good evening once again. I think we have to take into account that Attorney General, Mr. Wayne Monroe, spoke, and I think what he said was kind of suggestive to prepare the kind of sentencing that could happen. He spoke of a case of 2 vehicle murders in Grand Bahama, in Grand Bahama, and he said there was an 18-month sentence. And so in my head it's saying that the sentence is possible, sentencing is possible, and it don't have to be 10. 10 is maximum. Yes. So it can be less than 10.
From 1 to 10.
Yeah, 1 to 10. And so 5 lives, that was in the case that he referred to was 2 lives, but this is 5 lives. And so I suspect that there will be time served. We want to be sensitive and compassionate and all those things, but you also have to take into account 5 lives were lost.
This is again a very unfortunate situation, and I read in one of the dailies, Shanique, a long piece from the mother of the last young man that passed, and she really, really touched my heart when she spoke of she's not angry, she's not bitter. She said that she'd already forgiven the young man. And so this is a vexing matter for all of us, that 5 young lives were lost. And so we've got to mix our emotions and our feelings with some kind of compassion, like Pastor Mario Moxie said. I believe that it's a serious matter, and he may serve some time. I think probably maybe about 3 years he may get, but it's a very serious matter. He's a young man, like the rest of them. They were all, it's not that like he ran into another car, killed somebody. They were all together partying and having a good time, and the mother alluded to that. And it's unfortunate. People are hurt. People didn't like his reaction when they saw the social network. I still don't know how to read into those reactions, whether they were real, whether they were he's still in shock, what's going on with him, because it's not normal reaction.
But one of the things that many, and I had conversation this afternoon with two individuals, and one of the things that we discussed was the adult involvement. The driver's mother, who admitted that she rented the car for him and that he was 19 and couldn't do it for himself. My question is she without responsibility? Because if we backtrack, without her renting the car and turning it over to her son, would it mean 5 lives still here? And so I personally think that she should be held accountable for our recklessness, her poor judgment. If you want to give your child a good time, there are many opportunities when it comes to those big SUVs you can rent to show them off. But it was irresponsible of her, and I think she should be held accountable.
Of course, very shortly, we will obviously be limited in what we say about this matter, because it is a matter that is now just been presented before the courts. And of course, in the Bahamas, once a matter is before the courts, we only report on what comes out of the court and that trial. And so this matter is one such thing. It's a sensitive issue and a lot at stake, a lot at play. I imagine a lot of information will come out. Glenroy, good evening to you. We were just discussing really the potential, and there was a story before. Unfortunately, we were not able to get to that story that ran just moments ago in the news. But the story talks about what is perhaps, and the Attorney General spoke to it, what potentially can happen in terms of sentencing. If you can just maybe quickly respond, and then we'll move on to what the Bahamas Christian Council is calling for. Unmute your phone. Yes.
Transpired, and hopefully, some good comes out of it. But I don't know what good can come out of the situation. Unfortunately, this is where it's at. I heard Peggy in terms of the mother being charged. I don't know what the law is relative to renting a vehicle, because he is considered an adult. If it's 21 or 25, then there's another matter. But the only recourse, I think, in that instance for the rental company is for them to deal with that from that perspective. But overall, it is a sad situation, and, the young man will face some time as a result of it, and hopefully he can regain his composure, get his life back on track. And there's always redemption because he's still alive. Unfortunately, for those others who perished, it's just sad.
Life, huh? Always redemption. Meanwhile, though, as emotions, and you all even just hear on this panel, the different thoughts, of course, we are extending grace. I see this panel. But as of the discussions on that Shirley Street crash continue, there's an advisory body that's pushing for grace to be extended to the driver of the incident, particularly with the seemingly rough road ahead of him. We get this story from Rebecca Bain. To reset and start all over. Maybe that's what it is, because I know it's a short week. I know it's a holiday week. These stories just played. I don't quite understand. The Bahamas Christian Council is calling for grace, and someone mentioned that word right here a moment ago, to be extended to the 19-year-old. Ellington, it was you that said videos that went viral while he was in hospital, and perhaps some motions that he made that you feel as though perhaps he may have been in shock making them. But people's emotions are all over the place, understandably so. The nation is shocked and shook of what it is that's taken place. And so your thoughts, you all, about the fact that as we move forward and watch this trial play out before our eyes, that as the Christian Council says, let's sort of watch it all play out with a measure of grace towards this individual.
Yeah, I think, Shanique, we got to kind of stand back allow this to process through the court. I know everybody have had their say in social network across all platforms, in news media and everywhere. Let's now let it play out. Let's see once this young man began to face this. He has a lot to face. These were not some people that, like I said earlier, he ran into or knocked down on the side of the road. These are all friends. The mother of the last gentleman that passed away said that they grew up together. They were all friends. I mean, they know each other. So right now, as it stands, we don't know what's going on the inside of him, whether it's disbelief or whatever trauma I believe that he is going through some level of trauma. These were not strangers that he was just picking up and speeding with these strangers and just driving them. These were all friends, okay, who grew up together, interact with each other's home and all of that. And so let's allow this to play out.
I agree. Let's wait on the courts. Grace could be less than 10 years for each count. So that will be grace there, but we'll wait to see.
Glenroy, I'm not sure if you are muted or what's happening.
Yeah, sorry. I think what will be held into account is the fact that the individuals all participated in the vehicle, unfortunately. And to some degree, there is some responsibility on everybody involved. Unfortunately, that they lost their lives. And that may be something that may be in play here. But we also have a tendency of allowing these situations to go with time, where, you hear certain things happen and then all of a sudden, case just dissolves and nothing gets happened because we are on to the next thing. There must be some accountability for this. And I hope that it is carried out in a way that is humane and also from a lesson learned perspective, because obviously other young people are watching, the nation is watching, and we just hope that the family finds some solace and some relief in all of this.
All of the families, absolutely. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transport just released this notice that the Ministry of Transport, in partnership with the Road Traffic Department and the Royal Bahamas Police Force, invites members of the media. Here's what they're launching: One Life Too Many, a road safety campaign. It certainly is something that's welcomed, that is going to be officially launched tomorrow. Something that is welcomed, something that is needed for so many of us. I was driving, I think it's JFK today, and a guy on a tractor, you all listen to this, a guy on a tractor, handling and managing a tractor on a highway with his phone in his hand, and he ain't looking up yet because all he's doing is this, driving the tractor, kind of doing this. And Minister Lundy,
I saw that a few days ago.
Royal Bahamas Police Force, and everyone else and sundry, what you've got to do, take hold of this, of all of us, like seriously get very serious about this one life too many, and enforcing the traffic laws and having the police more present. A tractor, you all heard that? That was real, a tractor.
I've seen it 2 days ago and back home myself also.
Yeah,
quite. So yes, we've all got
disturbing.
to, Shanique, like you say, step up to the plate, and this is a good initiative that the road traffic and the government is coming up with. So let's hope that it comes off and we all participate in it. And also important, let's make sure that we all adhere to the rules of the road. And in the process of us adhering to the rules of the road, let's make sure that our roads are properly marked. I notice in a lot of places you go, the marking has erased from the road and the lanes are not clear. We need to make sure that people use the lanes properly. There are proper marking in the direction of the road and all of that. Road safety is very important. All of us plays a part.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, in other news tonight, the government continues to face mounting pressure to reassure Bahamians that there is an end in sight to the latest wave of widespread power outages. Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis issued a release today promising a comprehensive update on the government's energy reform efforts. But despite electricity being restored to several communities, there is still no definitive timeline for full restoration across New Providence. The minister largely echoed explanations previously offered by Bahamas Power and Light CEO Tony Pratt, pointing to severe weather that affected operations at the Blue Hills power station as the latest trigger for the disruptions. But for many residents, those explanations are becoming increasingly difficult to accept, particularly after consumers endured another round of blackouts linked to ongoing generation and infrastructure upgrades. Colby-Davis has consistently argued that temporary disruptions are an unavoidable part of modernizing an aging power system. I want to know what you all think of that. I'll say this: it is vexing when it's Sunday was one for the books. We know that. And Leslie said last night, based on his experience and knowledge of BPL, BPL workers do not like to work with something called live wires. For them to go in and assess and make repairs and work on an issue, they have to shut the entire thing down. So he feels as though this is what prolonged the blackouts until they could have gotten their work done fully on Sunday. And I understand some areas were still out. Your thoughts on what I just read?
I want to say safety first in our messaging. We say we apologize first. We thank people, customers, for their patience, and then we say something like this: we will resolve the issue as safely and as quickly as possible. So who would want to work around live wires? Leslie? Question mark. Every time a BPL employee, a linesman step out there, whether it's thunderstorm, whether it's electrical storm, they put their lives at risk. Every time they climb a pole, and I'm not making excuses. I'm saying it is saying what it is. Who would want to work on live wires?
Glenroy need you to jump in and help me out.
Jump in, Glenroy.
You know why? Because Glenroy.
It's like
I stood, Peggy, it's one host.
Go ahead.
One, thanks very much. Because if I signed up to do this show, and I figure I don't like makeup and dressing up, and I don't like stepping into what the show requires. What the dickens am I doing here?
That's not live wires.
So Glenroy, I don't, it's not live wires.
That
Leslie
is not
said from
wires.
his days, Glenroy, and I'm sure it continues. These BPL workers have been trained in the Caribbean by international counterparts, but they refuse to do it. But this is something in 2026. This is what they're refusing to do. Aren't you properly trained and skilled?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It is shocking that BPL lines,
pun intended,
do not want to work
yes,
with
of course.
wire.
Yes.
The fact is, that's like a policeman saying he
doesn't want to get
He
shot.
don't want to use a gun.
No, he don't want to get shot.
That's why he have a gun.
You know, the reality is, you will be shot at as a policeman, perhaps at some point in your career. That's a dangerous job. The reality is, if you are going to sign up to work at BPL and you are a linesman, by the name linesman, that means you're going to handle wires.
Not live wires.
Live wires.
Peggy, nobody buying y'all what you selling tonight.
I don't care what nobody buying, but I encourage them not to fool with live wires.
But don't work there. Go sit down,
ungrateful people.
Because if y'all could make...
Don't wait for them. You're not going to
Go
die
ahead,
over.
Glenroy. Finish your point. Don't listen now. Go ahead.
Wires, I understand. Yeah,
You
live
safely in
wires,
hotel.
That may be a challenge, right?
You safely tuck away in hotel.
Safety is paramount. But the reality is, let me finish. The reality is also though, if we have people there that are hired, that are supposed to be doing that job, and they are not doing that job, then they need to move off from the job.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
And
no
come
excuses.
to the safety of tourism.
Well then,
Listen,
but Peggy, you all want to be paid. Peggy, you all want to be paid. Peggy, Peggy, you have spoken. Now let me speak as the host. You are making an argument that nobody's buying in 2026.
I don't care.
The thing about it is, if they wanted to work in a hotel, they could have go work in a hotel. You are working at a power station. Go and get the work done.
I know.
You cannot shut a whole nation down, a whole capital city down for more than 14 hours because you don't want to work with live wires.
I know the families of those men don't want them look with wire. You all have anybody on the live wire?
Come over
the
there.
family
Come
of
over there.
those men
Find
don't want
another
them to
job.
work with live wires.
Find another
Leslie
job.
and Grand Roy go work with live wires.
When we come back, we will hear from F&M Deputy Shannon Dawn Cartwright. Shannon Dawn Cartwright talking about BPL. Stay exactly where you are. Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, process you, and entertains you.
Here at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store, we believe in our prices. That's why we offer our price match guarantee. If you find any of our items being sold for a lower price than any of our competitors, whether that's online or in store, let us know about it and we'll beat the price right there on the spot. No one does it like CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
When the craving hits, there's only one thing everybody agrees on. Hot, crispy, Wendy's chicken tenders. Made to satisfy every bite. Whether it's served as a slider or wrap, it's always perfectly seasoned, perfectly crunchy, and always cooked fresh. From lunch with friends to family moments worth sharing. For chicken tenders you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. With new styles arriving, they have just what you need for your kitchen, living room, and patio. And the first 10 customers get an additional $50 off their tile purchase. Come on in July 8th and July 9th and enjoy big Independence Day savings. Call them at 352-7920.
Free National Movement Deputy Leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright is criticizing the government and the continued issue of press releases. He said it's too much press releases on the ongoing power woes. Instead, speak to the people. Cartwright is also slamming the most recent press statement from Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis as he asserts that the Bahamian people deserve more. In fact, he called for the nation's leader to address the matter directly.
The Davis administration, from the beginning of its first term, and now into its second term, has been loud as it has lauded its energy reform policy as groundbreaking and transformational. Yet, as the power crisis rages and Bahamians suffer in our nation, we hear absolutely nothing from the Prime Minister. For days, Bahamian families and small businesses have sat without consistent power. By any measure, any standard, the state of affairs is unacceptable and demands a timely, adequate, and substantive response from Prime Minister Davis. Every hour of silence costs a Bahamian business money. Every hour of silence costs a Bahamian family peace of mind. The government works for the Bahamian people, so speak to the people.
Well, this Shannon on Cartwright, F&M deputy, says, listen, all those news releases and stories and on this total like just wash. They never communicated effectively and efficiently. The minister needed to come out and speak. And in fact, he said, the prime minister needs to come out and speak to the Bahamian people. Your thoughts about F&M deputy leader Cartwright?
Where's my mic? Where's my...
Glenn, why are you shaking your head? You're disappointed with Peggy.
That's my response.
Right? That's exactly the point. When people are crying out and complaining about things that are legitimate. For example, we have these high excessive light bills. They are saying that the light bill is based on usage. People's patterns have not changed, but then you have double and triple the amount in terms of light bill. That's a problem. You're not addressing it. Then you turn around and then you have people who lost grocery items and food and all this other stuff. That's not being addressed. Some people have lost appliances. That has not been addressed. And then you have situations where we just have these little flowery words. We were promised, we were told, we will be ready, we will be okay. But yet we find ourselves in this predicament, and mom's the word. That's unacceptable, and that's why we have a right to stand up. But when we suck our teeth towards the Bahamian people's cry, that shows that we do not care about their cry, and we are not concerned about their legitimate concerns.
That's at Shannon Dawn. Don't mix it up, Glenroy. I know you got your spin to spin, but that's something was at Shannon Dawn.
Shanique, with all of this that we're going on, and power outage is not unique to the Bahamas. I mean, Baltimore was off all day yesterday. I mean, courthouses, all businesses, courthouses, everything was just they had to discontinue court. But my thing is here locally. I kind of don't like this whole idea of when these things happen that I see the minister or that's responsible for these areas out there speaking to them. I think the minister of the government, they are responsible, pass legislation, put these things in place. They cover these ministry. They will put out there, get these reformation and transformation going. We now need to have all of the technocrats of these different areas, the people that are responsible for these areas, the people that are working in these areas, the people who understand the terms and can speak to these areas, come, even if they come with the minister in a press conference, and articulate to the Bahamian people what is going on, what can we expect, why is this happening, why is that happening. We had the lightning strike, we have the other power outage. Let the Bahamian people know, and on a regular basis, because we have this ongoing work, make the Bahamian people understand step by step what is happening, why you're experiencing this.
Tony, I'll tell you then. Tony Pratt and Christina Alston, you all dropped the ball. Let me tell you what it is. Okay, first of all, keep us abreast of this energy reform that's happening. Everybody trying to point and whistle to find out exactly where it is. One, let's go to Sunday. You all had a smoking building that I've not seen any of you there in front of. One, to tell us the extent of the damage of the lightning strike, what was damaged and what wasn't, and therefore it took well after midnight for areas to be restored, and then they dipped again. You all did not communicate effectively with the Bahamian people to make us understand. I know BPL yesterday did something where they sent out a video like how the U.S. ambassador sent out something that is a production, a produced little clip to send out. No. That's not good enough. Come speak to the Bahamian people. I don't know what you're running from because I don't think you can control lightning.
Exactly.
I don't think you can control the natural elements.
Get in front of the cameras.
If lightning struck one of the energy rooms or engine rooms rather, and you sit there all day and load updates to the stories of BPL on Facebook. I was looking around like, what the dickens? There's got to be a joke, a real joke.
This is such a. But the thing is, this is such a national crisis, right? You would have expected to have a major press conference in this vein. You would have expected the minister responsible. You would expect the CEO responsible. All of those individuals with the technocrats and the engineers, just surrounding them in a room, giving a brief discussion point or a press conference with
this whole situation,
media and stuff, asking questions and so on and so forth. But everybody was just hiding and ducking and running.
But Ellington, I'm sorry, Glenroy again, and you are right, Ellington.
And wondering when their power will be restored.
Glenroy, that was the shocking part. This had BPL was totally innocent. in this instance, in terms of any engine failure or
Exactly.
this was Mother Nature, and y'all couldn't speak to that? Y'all didn't jump ahead of it? All we wanted to do was be informed, Yes, it was vexing. My God, it was hot. But had you communicated properly, we would at least been on all of us together holding hands, trying to say, come by here and hurry get the stuff fixed. But you all ducking and dodging and hiding and what?
Okay.
Glenroy, just shut up. Glenroy, Glenroy, stop.
That was lightning, Glenroy. That was lightning. That was lightning. I've given you all time to roast BPL staff when the CEO did a walkthrough. But it ain't good enough. So it's never good enough. Yes, it's never good enough.
Shut your mic off.
It makes no sense.
Because I'm telling you,
it makes no sense.
You didn't speak. I'm now speaking.
Yeah. So it made
now, here it is. Of course it makes it. You all dropped the ball. You all dropped the ball entirely. You dropped the ball entirely. Peggy, can you please stop? I'm speaking. Okay, now, here it is. This is a viewer. I agree with Ellington. Remove the politics from these very critical areas and issues that require expert response. And that's all we're saying. We needed the CEO and the chairman to step up and speak. You all didn't go and call the lightning down and made it create the damage it did. But speak to the people. This bunch of flyers and stuff you posted on the stories all Sunday. Like, number one, who's going to take the time and look at that? And then because it was 1,000 being posted, you lost track and didn't know what the dickens they were talking about, because here they were also updating Eleuthera. Nothing on the page of BPL. You dropped the ball. You fumbled it, and you dropped the ball, and it's disgusting. Do not service the Bahamian people that way. Speak to the Bahamian people and keep us informed. In an instance like that, you had the elderly, the youth, everyone. Glenroy, be quiet, please. I'm speaking. You had people who are of senior age, people younger, and everyone else in between in misery on Sunday. And what you did? Posted updates to the stories on Facebook. Stories.
Not good enough.
Now, another comment that came in, and I'm trying to look for it. This comment says, so as far as Peggy is concerned, the time and money spent in training BEC workers on live wiring is a total waste.
No, it's not a total waste. But if your husband can risk his life for Bahamians who come here and roasting them for taking risks, then send your husband on the line. But I don't encourage anybody to deal with live wires. If Leslie wants to, God bless him. 70 anyways.
Former Prime Minister
about the live wire. It's about the response.
Glenroy, you serving customers in tourism. You don't take no risk unless something drop on your toes. Thanks very much. You don't take any risk besides getting to and from work. You don't know the risks of live wires. I saw a man just with the sidewalk.
You taking this different now.
Of course, I'm taking
Former
it
Prime
differently.
Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is also speaking. I don't understand what's happening. Why are you doing that? No, you can't do that. You got my people in the back there going wild.
Yeah, they
Dr.
wild.
Minnis is also speaking to the continued outages. He chastised the government's introduction of taxes to help facilitate infrastructural upgrades that still seem not to have been completed.
I feel sorry for all of us. Electricity costs continue to go up. Individuals are sweating. They can't sleep. People are keeping their windows open, hoping that breeze comes through, etc. It's disaster. Disaster for kids. They can't do any reading. They can't do anything. They can't watch TV, etc. It's disaster. When we were in power, we had no load shedding. We were faced with COVID. People were indoors. In spite of that, electricity, they burnt more electricity, but there was still no cost. We had the hedging. The government made noise about the hedging. We were exonerated. We were exonerated by IRCA, which said that that's the right way to go. And the government introduced taxes to resolve certain financial matters, but still, those were not resolved.
Saw last week, and you remember that the union president, Kyle Wilson, president of the BEWU, called for an investigation into bribery. He claims he was made a proposition to keep his mouth shut and turn his head in the opposite direction. Now, Kyle Wilson said last week that the chairman must resign. He called for an investigation into the claims that an independent source attached to BPL made him the offer of lavish trips and other gifts and monies just so that he can perhaps look the other way and not get involved in the ongoing energy reform and the rest of it. It wasn't quite clear, you all, exactly what Wilson was talking about, but a lot has also been said. Of course, social media, I don't know if I can actually bring it here, but other allegations then, I'll say it like that, other allegations about what Wilson is making at BPL in overtime pay. That has not been brought to the mainstream media, so I leave it right there. But a whole lot, when Kyle Wilson stepped out and called for an investigation, it certainly raised other eyebrows, didn't it? I don't know who I'm speaking to.
Okay, well, Shanique, this is a
That's
very...
a question? Oh.
This is a very, very serious allegation from Mr. Wilson. We ought not to take this lightly, and I'm happy to hear that the government has jumped on this to look into this. Mr. Kyle Wilson said some stuff. He left a lot of stuff unsaid. This is very serious. What is taking place that out of the ordinary with this whole deal with BPL, that somebody will need to bribe him to not stand up for his members? What is going on? What are this particular contractor or contractors doing that is way out of scope of what they should be doing, that they're offering Kyle such lavish gifts and donations? This is a very serious allegation as we talk about the transformation of BPL and Bahamians are going through all of these issues. We need to get to the bottom of this. Kyle Wilson I think he need to say something else. He need to speak some more to this issue.
Kyle Wilson needs to come and speak to the
Yes, he need to be more plain.
Kyle Wilson, you need to speak to the Bahamian people. Do not drop crumbs and
plainly
expect us to
and
follow
openly.
it like birds and pick it up, because it made no sense. I am wondering exactly, Glenroy, what it is that Wilson is talking about, that an outside source, somebody I guess who is engaged with BPL to provide some sort of service, had approached him some months ago, bribing him lavishly, I mean 6 figures, to keep his mouth shut and head turned in a different direction about what?
Yeah, this is some serious allegations, and I think that him knowing the consequences for bringing such allegations to the fore and not being true, I'm sure he recognized that there are some consequences for that. But for him to make these allegations, I certainly believe him, and that causes me to have some concerns. Who all are the beneficiaries of this, and what benefits would have had he taken the bribe that he is suggesting that was offered to him? Who all are involved in these scenarios in terms of even the business opportunities and the generation of wealth gain in this whole organization? Who are the beneficiaries? Is it somebody that's going to benefit greatly as a result of buying out and selling out the union members? And that is where we need to find our investigations, because far too often in this country, there have been, and I've been saying this, there have been a monopolized wealth gain structure that locks out the ordinary citizen, and only friends, family, and lovers find themselves in that circle, and they continue to gain wealth and amass it for generations unborn. And we need to change that so much so that the Bahamian people at large can enjoy the fruits of the land and not be sequestered or just be confined to this kind of concept that you are just with a handout, looking for handout, hoping somebody will give you a plate. The fact is there are too many opportunities that Bahamians are missing out on because corrupt practices like this flourish in this country.
And that is why Kyle will say, because he knows there's an audience for Trapsy drama. But I'll say this one thing concerning the investigation. I hope that there is one, and that that comes to equity and are clean. And so when we investigate, turn over every rock. I remember requesting an investigation from Kyle and his union executive, still waiting. And so that comes to equity must come with clean hands. And if your hands ain't clean and you come to equity, then may the chips fall where they may.
Well, we'll be watching that. I did reach out to Kyle Wilson. I asked him for an interview. He didn't think it was the right time. I think, in fact, he has maybe a meeting, so he didn't want to speak outside of that meeting. But absolutely. Here's a comment. Bribery is a criminal offense. That should have been reported to the police. Absolutely. He sat on it. He said he sat on it, and then he decided to write a letter to the CEO.
Then they start chanting, fire the chairman. Make it make sense.
BPL, BPL needs its own illumination. Absolutely it does, because it baffles all of us exactly the protest that happened last Friday, and now it's Tuesday, and Kyle Wilson has gone very quiet. I've not heard anything else since Friday, and so we await to see exactly what that is. Well, you all know that Prime Minister Davis is putting on the table a consideration for members of Parliament to get an increase in salary. Well, former Prime Minister Dr. Eyewitness is raising eyebrows tonight at what he labels a questionable change of heart by Prime Minister Davis to increase parliamentarian salaries. Dr. Minnis recalled when he put forth a proposal for a systematic increase to MP salaries as Prime Minister in 2017, that it was rejected by members of Parliament, both the FNM and the PLP, including now Prime Minister Davis.
Are you saying that the salary changes will be done by politicians? Is it fair for me to make decision on my salary? Please, that's a joke. What do you think will happen if you're asking an individual, you determine how much you should get paid? That is a real joke. Only a fool would say he shouldn't get more. You have to be joking. Establish a committee just like the judges, a salary review commission. Take it out of the hands of the politician so that you have it legislated and everybody can see why the changes. It's debated after the committee reports. You cannot ask people to pay themselves and make decisions on what their salaries will be.
Now, Dr. Minnis, you should have established that committee when you were in power. That is why perhaps you were rejected. When we come back, the panel will respond to that and more. How much is a gallon of gas these days? Because the headlines is backward after this. It's wrong.
It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. With new styles arriving, they have just what you need for your kitchen, living room, and patio. And the first 10 customers get an additional $50 off their tile purchase. Come on in July 8th and July 9th and enjoy big Independence Day savings. Call them at 352-7920.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future.
Everybody get up.
Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Welcome back to Being on the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. Just before the break, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said about the proposal and thoughts of increasing members of Parliament salaries that those parliamentarians in the House right now should not be the ones saying yay or nay. He says there should be, in fact, a committee that determines that, and I guess the committee will determine how much and when and you know, and then the increments and all this stuff. Peggy and Ellington and Glenroy, your thoughts on where Dr. Minnis, first of all, you know, he was rejected with that in 2017 when he tried it by parliamentarians. But your thoughts about what he's saying tonight on that?
Oh wait, he must be forget. He must be forget, because when you're in a position to make change and don't make change, after that, nobody cares what you're saying about it. I don't care what Dr. Minnis have to say about it, because Dr. Minnis was not only the Prime Minister, he was the competent authority, but all say. And he didn't make the change that he's now recommending to Prime Minister Davis. So Dr. Minnis, drop mic. Oh.
I agree with Dr. Minnis. That is there should be a commission. You should not be able to go and say I need to give myself more money. I kind of differ though, Peggy, when you talk about he should have been able to do it during his term. His hands was filled. I got to give him as a Prime Minister.
But he attempted to do that in 2017.
2017, the timeline. Ian wasn't tied. And then the storm came in 2019 and covered in 2020. This is 2-3 years from 2019.
Maybe yes, he should have attempted to do it. He didn't do it. I think it's something that the present administration should look into as they discuss this, and I think that's the way to go, really.
It'll be a fool's errand for any new political party or any party who would have just gained government to go and talk about salary increase. So the timing of 2017 would have been idiotic at best. The other reality is that I agree with what he said. There should be a commission for individuals who are looking to have a salary increment, because the fact is, like he said, anybody who would say, okay, man, I need more money, and they will give them, and have the ability to give themselves more money, would probably do so. So we need to make sure that it's done properly. And I also believe that had this government not spent all those millions of dollars on the consultants, which is like 60 million plus or whatever, you could take a couple million from that and give it the MP salary.
He will never let it go.
I mean, we were paying $250,000 to Roger Stone every month. I mean, and shucks. Imagine that.
Shanique, let me point out something to you that I found amazing, and I stand to be corrected, but I think they're linked. When the Prime Minister introduced that in the House and they talked about this raise for the parliamentarian, you notice what happened immediately after?
What?
You all remember with the public service insurance? Did you all connect the dots there?
Oh yeah, everybody getting taxed.
So you're giving yourself some money and you ain't paying us, so they dropped the civil service insurance last week.
Yeah, I think that was.
If y'all could pay yourself more money, y'all could pay us the money y'all owe us.
Yeah, well, the insurance
I believe that had something to do with
the
that.
The insurance companies say, hold up, wait a minute, hold up, slow up a little bit. And they made that big, bold move and statement. That was quickly rectified within hours, we're told.
I believe that's why.
I feel, and where do you each stand on that? I feel as though parliamentarians should be given an increase. Because you see, more is demanded and expected.
I don't disagree with that.
Now, we the public require more from them, and when they are paid more, given that increase, which I imagine still wouldn't be anything totally significant. But the point about it is, though, that's where we even hold you all more accountable. You see, we holding you. Why you think we are talking? We spend so much time talking about BPL because we are holding you accountable for what you said. So therefore, pay them. They have a lot more work to do. It's a lot more that's
Especially,
expected.
mention was made about a member of parliament that's serving Michael. I mean, that is a challenge. You cannot go from Nassau and say you're going to Michael. You've got to go to one, maybe two, come back to Nassau, go to the next one, come back to New Providence, go to the other one. And so it is a challenge in some areas. And yes, we expect more representation. And so, yes, I think it's deserved once they apply it properly. But timing got to be very much a thing here.
We don't want to pay you more money and you finding out you still got these pilot contracts and you still got money coming in from different places. We don't want that foolishness. We want you to be upright, do your job, and then leave with your head up and be having integrity. Do not be trying to monopolize, have all kinds of systems in place for you to gain wealth or the backs of the Bahamian people. And then at the end of the day, you still want to tax me for more money. You still trying to get your child a free education or in public poison.
Get the child free education. Glenn, you're just all over the place. I hope something sticks.
That part there is some heavy lifting. You know why? Because I imagine that was before independence. In terms of what exactly as you described. But let's talk, good news, Glenroy, and I want you to jump in first. If you've been paying attention to the pumps recently, you may have noticed what seems to be the beginning, oh my God, remember when we talked about this about a week and a half ago with Vasco Bastian, of a decline in the price of gas. Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, is talking about the decline. He was asked whether or not consumers could continue to see the trend in the coming months.
I think definitely I can speak to what's going on. It's a direct correlation to the price of crude oil in the global markets has started to trend downward. So we are now benefiting from that decrease in crude oil on the global market. As far as predicting whether it continue to decline, I don't want to commit to that. But there's a high probability that it could. We ain't never seen no more $5 gas right now. No, don't try that. Not no $5. You might see between $5.50 and $6. We ain't gonna see no $5. I can tell you that much. No more $5. Those $5 they over. I ain't saying that right now. We don't control it, but so I don't want to speak to. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But if it continues the way it's going, then there's a high probability it could. But you never know what they're saying. One little misstep in the Middle East or in that region, things could go back up.
We are obviously subjected to what happens internationally, whether, the markets, wars, and all the rest of it. I just wish we could take and I know the Bayesian dollar is maybe different than the dollar that we have, but Mia Motley is insistent, and this is something we'll revisit, is insistent that she will continue. In fact, Motley confirmed Bridgetown is holding the line on fuel and electricity prices, even after technical officials recommended pushing the pump price from $3.72 to $4.20 per liter. A new constitution of Barbados is also headed to the cabinet within weeks. Okay, that's something different. But she is saying, listen, she is going to spare the people of Barbados right now. There is no increase. I just wish that we can stand in that regard. Bastian said the days of flat $5 per gallon are over here in the Bahamas. But we would love to enjoy that again because why not?
Shanique, I'm wondering how can he unequivocal. I'm wondering how can he just state that if the price of oil per barrel is continuing down at this moment, if it goes down to what it was prior to the start of this U.S.-Iran war, why can't we see it? And we were there prior to that. So that kind of baffles me. Is he saying, regardless of how low it go, because they got this little more lift, they're not going to go back that low? I think it would be unfair to the Bahamian populace. We have our neighbors right here to the north. They touting that it's going to go down even more for the summer holidays and all of that. And we're saying that basically this is as low as it's going to go. And knowing that our fuel is cut even more when it gets here. Help me, please.
Hey, listen, Mia Motley is on a whole different level. I mean, and she looks out for her citizens and so on and so forth. But tell Vasco Bastian, we have been looking and we are trying to understand why is it that fuel cost goes up faster than it comes down when the barrel of oil goes down fast. The fuel cost stays at a snail's pace going down. Whereas the minute it goes up in terms of the barrel of gas,
you blink
oil,
and there's been a change.
Goes up right away.
Yes.
That's a problem. And we need to investigate how long it takes and the transition for that to happen.
Glenroy, listen, you need a degree.
Is my belief.
You need a degree in all things engineering, fuel related, and everything, every other intricate calculus in between there to understand about this, how they determine the price, how quickly it goes up. The minute a barrel of oil is something, then you see them saying, "Oh, we have to." Mind you, you wonder where the reserves that you all say you have in the nation, and why is it impacted so quickly?
Mr. Vasco?
Yeah, we ain't for it.
Absolutely. Listen, I thank you all very much. Happy Independence. Of course, we're here tomorrow evening. But yes, we had to happy Independence to each of you. I thank you all, Peggy, Ellington, Glenroy, for being here this evening. I look forward to having you all right back here tomorrow evening. And thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you for participating. Thank you very much for your views and your thoughts that you are sharing and have shared as well. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited.